Holy cow. All right. That's pretty nice. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So it's Jesse with 10 Back Bowling here. Today I bring you the new Radical Deadly Rattler. So this bowling ball is coming out soon. I'm very excited to do the review on it for you. Really just see kind of where this ball fits into my bag and then potentially yours. So this ball is supposed to be a complement to the solid Rattler that Radical has in the line. Wrapped in a pearl cover stock with HK22 base. So far, I've thrown this ball a few times, and it's met really that kind of benchmark pearl symmetrical piece that I was looking for, and I've liked everything I've seen out of it so far. So I'm going to start on the far right in the track area, be a little firmer with my speed, roll the back of the ball a little bit as much as I can, and then we'll progress left. And then I also brought a Columbia 300 CUDA pearl that I'm going to throw alongside this. Those two bowling balls being pearl symmetrical pieces. Typically I look for the smoother, rounder shapes, so I'm interested to see really what the difference is between the two and where they're going to complement each other, and or if they're going to overlap. So we'll take it out of the lane. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button before we start the video. Okay, so I'm going to start in the track area. I'm going to try to stay up the back of the ball and then be a little bit quicker with my speed. Alright, so as you can see, there's definitely some friction to the right here. So just for everyone's awareness, we have done 2 ball review videos on this lane, probably for a total of 4 games. And I think that the track area with this ball, being as responsive as it is to the friction, is going to be too much. So I'm going to try one more shot here with this. See if I can get a little bit more rolly with it. Try to make a little bit better shot. That was better. Yeah, so as you can see with the CUDA, it's not going to be quite so angular, not as sensitive to the friction as the Rattler is right off the jump. So we're going to make a move left here, get back into the Rattler, and I think that we're going to start to see the ball perform a lot better the further left we get. So I'll make a 5-board jump left of my feet. Yeah, so definitely much earlier than the CUDA Pearl is, and very responsive to the friction. And I think that when it comes to a pearl symmetrical piece, for me, I typically use my CUDA Pearl as kind of my benchmark bowling ball to identify, if I need to go up in strength or change balls due to cover stock. But it's good to see a different shape here. All right, so I'm kind of throwing this my typical ball speed and hand position rotation on the ball. I'm going to get a little bit quicker with my ball speed. See if I can get the ball to push through the mid lane a little bit better. Yeah, so a little bit speed sensitive with the ball wanting to grab as early as it is. But the shape is good. It's very continuous through the pins. I'm pretty impressed with what I'm seeing so far. All right, so we'll make one more shot. Again, keep my speed up. Just for reference, I was throwing about 16 and a half. That last shot I got low 17s. Got that one in just a tad bit from the previous one. And as you can see, it's just extremely sensitive, speed sensitive right now, at least in this area. Oh, got that out right. That's gonna look good though. Yeah, so as you can see, it's just not quite so sensitive to the friction. Really blends it out well. My mistake room with the CUDA is significantly higher than the Rattler right now. And as you can see, on these typical house shots, something that's cleaner, smoother, rounder shape like this CUDA is a lot better for me. That's a better shot. Yeah. So I think that both of the bowling balls roll really well in a different way. When it comes to the shape, the smoother, rounder pieces for me, they're a little bit cleaner through the fronts, are a lot of times what I'm kind of looking for, but there always does come a time where, depending on the volume of oil or the breakdown and who I'm following, and the house, those smoother, rounder pieces just aren't enough sometimes. So having something like a Rattler is very beneficial. Oh, got it in just a little bit. That was a lot better. Okay, so that was a lot better shot. As you can see, I stayed up the back of the ball and underneath it a lot better. But overall in this area, the Deadly Rattler is much earlier and more angular down lane than the CUDA Pearl is. The CUDA Pearl blends out the wet dry a lot better, and it gives me a more predictable shape. So I think we're gonna make one more jump left. I think that this is where that angular motion of the Rattler is really gonna shine a little bit. And I think that the CUDA is gonna continue to look good, but I think I am gonna have to be a little bit more sensitive with my speed. So we'll check them out, get back into the Rattler, and then we'll see what it does. Okay, I'm gonna make another jump here, another 5 boards left. That's pretty good. All right, so. Yes, it's very responsive down lane. You can see that it's gonna be a little bit speed sensitive for me. If I get a little slow with it, it's gonna go high. So I'm gonna have to keep my speed up for sure. It's pretty good. I got it in a little bit. Yeah, so just missed in a little bit on that one. As you can see, that margin for error is not very high with this bowling ball. Oh, give me one. Oh, got it out right. Oh, still recovered. I got slow with that one. That was pretty good. Oh, nice. Okay, so that is the Rattler and the CUDA Pearl in that area, kind of hooking the whole lane. I'm going to make one more jump left. I think that I really just kind of want to see if the Rattler has enough energy down lane to recover, opening up the lane and making it that angular. I think that there's definitely some room for the CUDA. I'd probably back off speed, get around it just a tad bit more and make it shape, and it'll still continue to the pins. So we'll give it back in the Deadly Rattler, see if it's able to store enough energy, and then we'll talk about the overall what I think of the bowling ball and where it might fit in your bag. All right, so for the most part, that ball I did not do too much different. It's kind of my normal shot. So So I got a little bit slow with that one compared to the previous, and you can see, it went high through the nose. Feels better. See what it does. Yeah, it just picks up so early. And it's so responsive to the friction. It just makes it very sensitive, at least on this oil condition. Give me a messenger. Oh. Yeah, so you can see that when I'm a little slow with the bowling ball, it's too early and quick, if that makes any sense, right? So the bowling ball, you can see it's really trying to dig early on the lane, but when it sees the friction, it wants to go sideways very quickly. If I get a little bit too quick with it, you can see that, just like that previous shot, the ball is early enough that it actually loses steam down lane and it isn't able to turn the corner. So I think that's just where you really see I'm kind of at the limit with this bowling ball, and in reality, I would not be throwing this ball, in this condition specifically. So let's try one more time. That's pretty good. Yeah. So just too much ball. But just for reference, I'll throw the CUDA one time for you, so you can just see, from this zone what a smoother, rounder shape looks like compared to a more angular, sharp motion down lane. See how it just clears the fronts and the mids, still responsive down lane. All right, one more shot and then we'll wrap up the video. Oh, yeah, I got around that one, and I was slow with it. Okay, so that is the Radical Deadly Rattler compared to the Columbia 300 CUDA Pearl. So I think that for me, when I look at my bag and where I needed to fill some gaps, I have a lot of very smooth, round bowling balls. The CUDA Pearl has been a staple in my bag. It's something I've been able to throw in a lot of different conditions, which is why I like to compare it to some of the Pearl pieces that I bring to Spins Bowl Akron specifically. It really tells me if the bowling ball is going to be a step up, a step down, and really shows me the true difference because I know that the CUDA Pearl performs really well here. So I think that if anything, this video showed you really, what the distinct difference can be between, two Pearl symmetrical bowling balls based off of, RG differential. They do have the same layout on them. So there's not any difference in that regard, but as you can see with the Deadly Rattler, I think that bowling ball really complements the CUDA Pearl for me, because when that smoother, rounder, cleaner shape is not enough down lane, I would go to something like a Deadly Rattler that's going to pick up, be a little bit more angular, and kick off the friction a little bit more. I'm very surprised personally with how angular the Deadly Rattler is. I expected it to be a little bit cleaner and rounder, but as you can see, it's pretty angular down lane. So I think that for people that, again, high speed, low rev rate guys that want a bowling ball that's going to give them a little bit of angularity down lane, the Deadly Rattler is going to be a piece for you. Where that CUDA Pearl might be a little bit too clean and you can't get it to pick up on the back end. That's where a Deadly Rattler would fit into your bag. For guys that have a matched rev rate and ball speed, I think that you could definitely get away and see pretty strong performances with something like a Deadly Rattler, being that symmetrical piece in your bag that you're looking to have grab the lane a little bit earlier than maybe something else like a Stealth Pearl, a CUDA Pearl, those longer, smoother, symmetrical pieces. And/or I think if you're a little bit more rev dominant, you're probably going to be a little bit more conditional with this Deadly Rattler. As you can see for me here on this condition, it is very speed sensitive, and I do have to make sure that I make good quality shots. On a little bit higher volume, I think that bowling ball would perform or outperform this CUDA Pearl for me, and that's kind of what I've seen so far. So overall, I'm very happy with how the ball rolls, where it fits into my bag. And if you like what you saw, the ball's coming out this week. for release, so you can get with your local pro shop, or you can get with any of the 3 locations, 10-back pro shop, and pre-order yours today. Make sure, as always, you hit that like and subscribe button and give us some feedback, please. We appreciate everybody so far. The channel's continuing to grow with your guys' support. So until next time, we'll see you guys.